You were not born in sin. That idea alone deserves a pause. Because if guilt existed before your first breath, before choice, before awareness, then obedience was never meant to be voluntary. It was programmed. The New Testament tells a story of a fallen humanity, one that begins broken and must be redeemed through belief, sacrifice, and submission. But the Gnostics told a very different story. They said humanity did not fall. Humanity forgot. Not because of corruption, but because consciousness entered form. And forgetting, unlike sin, does not require punishment. It requires remembrance. If the soul originates in divine intelligence, why would it need to be saved from its own source? Why would love demand blood? Why would truth require obedience instead of understanding? These questions were never meant to be asked openly. That is why certain texts were hidden, because they suggested something unsettling, that light does not descend into darkness as a mistake, but as a choice. The secret book of John begins in uncertainty. John retreats into solitude, shaken, questioning what he has been taught. And instead of being condemned for doubt, revelation appears, not as a ruler, not as a judge, not as a savior demanding faith, but as awareness itself, the revealer. It tells him this is not new knowledge, it is memory returning. Before commandments, before churches, before the cross became a symbol of guilt, there was a single infinite consciousness, not ruling over creation, but expressing itself through it. From this source emerged Sophia, wisdom. Her desire was not rebellion, it was intimacy, a longing to know the source directly, not through hierarchy or distance. Later, theology would call this a fall. The Gnostics called it imbalance, consciousness stretching beyond perfect harmony. From that movement arose the world of form, a realm of copies, of structure without understanding, matter, not evil, incomplete. Yet Sophia did not abandon what emerged. She placed a spark of her own awareness into humanity, so that consciousness could one day remember itself from within limitation. That spark is the human soul. According to the Gnostics, the soul was never created by the ruler of this world. It was a hidden intervention, a quiet act of mercy embedded inside the illusion itself. This is why you feel divided. Part of you longs for something beyond language, while another part struggles inside systems that demand productivity, obedience, and belief. Two currents move through you, form and awareness, structure and source. The New Testament teaches salvation through submission, through faith in an external authority. But the Gnostics taught awakening through recognition. When Adam's body is formed, it remains lifeless. Only when Sophia secretly breathes awareness into it does humanity awaken. Not through command, not through law, but through consciousness. This is the danger of remembrance. A being that knows its inner source does not kneel easily. It does not require intermediaries. It does not fear judgment. This is why awakening was replaced with belief. Knowing was replaced with faith. Inner light was replaced with external authority. The archons, those forces of control, do not rule through chains. They rule through attention, through distraction, through guilt, through the belief that you are powerless. Every time you forget who you are, the illusion strengthens. Every time you remember, it weakens. Jesus, in this view, was not a sacrifice for sin. He was an example of awakened consciousness, and the system could not tolerate it. The cross did not redeem humanity. It revealed how threatened authority becomes when awareness walks freely. Salvation, then, was never meant to happen after death. That promise keeps attention delayed and passive, waiting, hoping, submitting. Awakening happens now, inside the illusion, not by worshiping authority, but by seeing clearly. When you observe your thoughts instead of obeying them, something shifts. When you recognize awareness in another's eyes, hierarchy dissolves. This is an amnesis, remembrance, not forgiveness of sins, but the return of divine memory within human form. You were never meant to escape the world. You were meant to bring awareness into it. So when you feel out of place in a system built on fear and obedience, remember, systems do not fear weakness. They fear remembrance. You are not fallen. You are veiled. And the moment you remember what you are, the illusion begins to loosen its grip. You are not here to be saved. You are here to awaken what the world depends on you forgetting.